Heartwarming Millionaire discovers little girl's plea. Don't cut my hair. Incredible transformation unfolds in Maplewood. Sam Montgomery cruised down Maplewood South Main Street, where vibrant autumn leaves danced in the crisp air. The quaint town was known for its charm, yet to Sam, it felt like a picturesque painting viewed from behind a glass wall. Each home he passed seemed alive with laughter and warmth, the cozy diner buzzing with families enjoying milkshakes and burgers. But as a self-made millionaire, he felt more isolated than ever. Money had brought him comforts, yet he was haunted by a yawning emptiness of void that wealth could never fill. His thoughts shifted as he scrolled through his phone, stopping cold at a news piece about a little girl named Lily. This 6-year-old, with shimmering long hair that flowed like a golden river, had become a target for her classmates' bullying. Her heartfelt plea echoed in his mind. "Don't cut my hair." In that moment, something deep within Sam stirred. As a child, he too had navigated tough times, clinging to dreams like a lifeline. Lily's love for her hair didn't just symbolize innocence. It embodied every child's right to be heard and cherished, even amid struggles. Sam's heart broke for her, especially knowing her father was facing unemployment, weighed down by the pressures of life. He felt an inexplicable urge to help. Perhaps, in doing something meaningful for Lily, he could piece together the fragments of his own hollow existence. He devised a plan for a fundraiser, picturing a vibrant festival that would draw the town together, where laughter and joy would chase away clouds of uncertainty. But as those plans rolled out, a cloud of skepticism swirled around him. Some neighbors, skeptical of his intentions, whispered doubts. "What does he know about our struggles?" Their glances seemed to say. The same man who lived in a sprawling mansion wanted to play hero in their simple lives. Conflict arose among local leaders. "We appreciate the help, but can we trust your motives?" One elder's voice rang out, igniting murmurs among the crowd. The air thickened with tension, and Sam felt the weight of their doubts settling on his shoulders. Could his privilege ever dissolve into true belonging? As the day of the fundraiser approached, Sam was determined. This was his chance. Yet there loomed an anxiety that accompanied the anticipation like a dark shadow. Each detail of the event carried more than practical significance. It bore the potential to unite a fractured community. Finally, the day arrived, bursting with color and energy. Families gathered, kids laughed, and the sounds of live music floated through the air. The highlight, the haircutting ceremony. Sam stood beside Lily, caught between the world of privilege he hailed from and the struggles faced by the townsfolk. He could feel the crowd's eyes drilling into him. Would he be accepted here, or was this just a fleeting moment? Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now, let's continue. As Lily stepped up, her small frame trembling with bravery, she focused on the crowd. The moment hung in the air, thick with emotions. Sam's heart raced. This wasn't just about hair. It was about identity, dreams, and standing firm against the tides of doubt. Would they understand that kindness transcends wealth? As he looked into Lily's eyes, hope sparked within him over the embers of skepticism smoldering around. But the fragile tension lingered in the air. Could it all remain intact, or would it shatter under the weight of their unspoken fears? Lily took a deep breath, her sparkling eyes reflecting a mix of determination and fear. She glanced back at Sam, searching for reassurance, and in that moment, he felt a profound responsibility weighing on him. This wasn't just a simple fundraiser. It was a chance to bridge the gap between their worlds, to show that even the richest of hearts could relate to the simplest of struggles. I don't want to cut my hair." Lily's voice wavered, but her statement rang clear. The crowd's murmurs hushed as they leaned in closer, captivated. Sam felt the energy shift. He stepped forward with confidence, kneeling beside her, ready to support her in front of everyone gathered. "Lily, your hair is beautiful, just like you. But sometimes we have to let go of little pieces to gain even more," he said gently. His words were not just for her, but also to the skeptical faces watching them. Was he really just a wealthy outsider? Or could he help the community see that this was bigger than any one person? The stylist beside them gently snipped off the first lock of hair, and cheers erupted from the crowd. Laughter mixed with applause as a curling golden strand fluttered down like a feather. Each snip felt like a release not just for Lily, but for the town as they collectively exhaled. It was a moment of connection, a chance to witness bravery and transformation. As the minutes ticked by and each lock fell, Sam sensed the crowd's enthusiasm rising along with the spirit of community. Children raced around, and families mingled, forming bonds that were stronger than before. He noticed an elderly couple exchanging smiles, neighbors chatting with newfound warmth, and laughter echoing louder than he had thought possible. But just as optimism began to blink at the crowd, a murmur rippled through raised voices grew louder, a reminder of the harsh realities not far from this joyful gathering. A small group of discontented townsfolk stood at a distance, arms crossed, exchanging glances as disbelief etched across their faces. "Why are we celebrating? How will this help us?" One voice cried out over the cheerful din. The momentary joy screeched to a halt. Those words hung in the air like a storm cloud gathering over their bright autumn day. Sam's heart sank. Was it all too superficial? The festival was supposed to bring unity, but now it felt precarious. He faced Lily, who had paused mid-snip, looking up in confusion. "Are they upset that I cut my hair?" she asked, her eyes wide and vulnerable. "No, Lily. They're worried, like the rest of us," he replied, hoping to comfort her. But deep down, Sam was unsure whether he could mend this fracture and prove his worth. He owed it to Lily to do more than just be a spectator here. With every ounce of resolve, Sam stood upright, ready to address the crowd. "This is just the beginning. We're here together today, despite our differences, and we can build something lasting. Let us talk about our dreams, our needs, and help each other." As his voice rang out across the hesitant crowd, a flicker of hope ignited within him. Would they embrace his call? Instead of whispers of doubt, could there be cheers of unity? Before he could catch his breath, he sensed a shift. People began stepping closer, faces softened and filled with curiosity. Had he finally cracked the surface? Just as he prepared to welcome the crowd into meaningful conversation, a shadow loomed behind him. An unexpected figure stepped forward, disrupting the fragile peace Sam had just begun to cultivate. "Where do you stand, Sam? Are you truly in this with us, or just playing at community?" The challenge pierced the air, shattering the moment into 1,000 fragile pieces. Suddenly, the stakes felt higher than ever. Sam's heart raced anew. Would he rise to the occasion, or fall back to the life he once led, alone and untouched? In that moment, the festival felt like both a beginning and a precipice. Would he stand his ground, or would the very foundation he hoped to build on crumble beneath him? The answer awaited his voice. "Who are you really?" The voice from the crowd was strong, demanding, and it cut through the electric atmosphere like a knife. Sam turned slowly to face the woman stepping forward, her arms crossed defiantly over her chest. He recognized her, Margaret, a long-time resident known for her fierce loyalty to the town. If anyone could stir the masses, it would be her. "I'm a friend," Sam replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I want to help this community, not just today but in the long run." Margaret scoffed, shaking her head. "You think a haircut is going to change anything? We need more than just feel-good moments. We need real change. Our community is struggling, and we can't just pretend it's all good because of one event." The crowd was restless, murmurs stirring like wind rustling through trees, uncertainty thick in the air. Sam felt sweat bead on his forehead. He was aware of how quickly a moment could turn sour, and he desperately wanted to redirect the energy back to hope. Taking a deep breath, he addressed the crowd again. "You're right, Margaret. It's not just about this haircut or today's event. This is about a commitment to each other, to listening and understanding. We have to work together to discover what this community needs. I made a promise to Lily, and I want to make that promise to all of you too. He glanced at Lily, whose hair was half gone but whose spirit shone brightly in the moment. She watched him intently, her face a blend of hope and anxiety. We have to create something real, he continued, clasping his hands together, his heart pounding. What are your needs? What can I do to support you beyond today? Margaret seemed to relent slightly, but still stood firm. How do we know you'll stick around? You might be a part-time hero, but we need someone in the trenches with us. Sam took a step forward, gravity pulling his weight into the moment. Then let us change that narrative together. This isn't just about me. I want to partner with you. Let us form a committee. Let us set up meetings. Let us talk about our goals. Think about it. What if we made the town a better place together? The air buzzed with a new energy as some people nodded, curiosity replacing skepticism. Sam spotted the kids, still embracing the festival's joyful spirit, and a warmth spread in his chest. Maybe, just maybe, he wasn't alone in this fight after all. One man broke from the crowd, his voice a low but steady rumble. We need jobs in this town. A way to keep our young people from leaving. School programs, mentorships, real opportunities, he said, his eyes flicking from Sam to Margaret then back. Others murmured in agreement, and a small flicker of hope ignited in Sam's heart. Yes, that's a start, Sam exclaimed, feeling energized by the support. Let us brainstorm how we can go about this. Let us build bridges right now, in this moment. Lily flashed him a smile, her eyes sparkling with determination as the crowd murmured positively. An atmosphere began to swell, voices blending into meaningful conversation about jobs, youth programs, and communal healing. But just as the hope began to blossom, a loud clap echoed against the tent, bringing attention back to Margaret. I want proof that this is more than just talk or a hairstyle. Sam met her gaze directly. Then let us make tangible plans, clear timelines. Hold me accountable. I'll bring my resources and networks to the table, but I need you all to call me out if I don't follow through. The crowd's mood shifted yet again, more voices chiming in as the energy of hope surged. Yet, Sam could feel the tension still lurking just beneath the surface. Would he be able to keep that promise? As discussions unfolded, Sam felt a swell of commitment rising in him. He had entered this world as an outsider, but today he was crossing into something deeper. The festival, once a mere event to raise money, now evolved into a catalyst for change. The new beginning shimmered in the air, but lingering doubts gnawed at him. Would unity last when the glow of this moment faded? Then, without warning, a child's laughter erupted, breaking the adults' intensity, pulling Sam's gaze back to the youngsters who had gathered near the stage. Their eyes twinkled with innocence and hope, but little did he know that life would soon throw a curveball that could shatter it all. What more awaited him and this community, now drawing close in its dreams? The answer lurked ahead, just beyond reach, threatening to reshape everything he had begun to build. Would he be ready for the challenges to come? The crowd soon began to disperse, their conversations weaving a tapestry of dreams and fears. Sam remained at the center, inhaling the mixture of excitement and apprehension. He could see Margaret talking with the man who had brought up the need for jobs, the intensity of their discussion a reflection of the stakes they faced. Lily bounced back up to him, her shorter hair glinting under the festival lights like a bright banner. You did it, Sam, she said, her voice buoyant. They're ready to listen, to really work on things together. I can feel it. Sam smiled at her enthusiasm. Yeah, but it was just the start. We need to keep this momentum going. He felt a rush of determination. In moments like this, with the sun dipping low in the sky and laughter dancing on the breeze, hope felt tangible. But shadows lurked at the edges of his mind. Meeting demands and expectations would be an uphill battle. A loud thud interrupted his thoughts. Everyone turned to see a large truck backing into the festival area, its engine roaring above the buzz of conversations. On the side, bold letters read Hope for Tomorrow Foundation. Curiosity flickered through the crowd. What's that about? Margaret shouted over the noise, eyebrows curling in suspicion. I'm not sure, Sam replied, squinting to see as the truck came to a halt. Suddenly, its back doors swung open, and several volunteers jumped out, hands loaded with supplies, food cans, clothing, and bright flyers. They quickly began organizing a distribution area. Sam felt a rush of unease. Was this help or interference? Margaret's gaze turned steely. We didn't ask for this, she shouted, planting her feet firmly. The crowd murmured their confusion, and Sam's heart raced. We're here to partner with you all, a cheerful woman called out, stepping forward. Her smile seemed genuine, but Sam could see the skepticism in the eyes around him. We want to help, to improve the lives of families here. Without asking? Margaret shot back, her arms still crossed. You think this town needs saving? The atmosphere shifted. What had been a moment of hope now crackled with tension. People turned to Sam as if he held the answer. It dawned on him that this could be a turning point in opportunity or a potential derailment. Wait! Sam shouted, raising his hands. Let us hear them out. He took a deep breath, trying to project calm. If they're here to help, let us talk to them. Open a dialogue instead of shutting them down. Lily tugged at his sleeve. What if they're not really here to help? She whispered, uncertainty clouding her bright eyes. Sam knelt beside her, pulling her close. I know, but let us find out. We owe it to ourselves to see if there is anything this can lead to. He felt the weight of the moment. He was fighting for community bonds and trust, and sometimes bridges had to be built of shaky ground. The Foundation's representative began speaking about initiatives for job training and housing assistance. As she spoke, Sam noticed heads nodding slightly, but an undertow of distrust flowed through the crowd. While some were eager for a path forward, others remained skeptical. Is this real? One woman yelled out. Or just another empty promise? Fire burned inside Sam, and he felt Lily squeezing his hand tighter. He tapped into the purpose he had felt earlier and absorbed the energy around him. Let us hold them to it, he urged the crowd. Let us ask the hard questions today and see if we can find a partnership that honors our needs. The crowd shifted again, some still resolute, while others became curious. This was a pivot into the unknown. For Sam, the stakes had never felt higher. The crowd wore their uncertainty like armor, and the weight of their gaze pressed on his chest. Would joining forces with this foundation help them flourish, or only deepen the chasm of distrust? As Sam prepared to step forward into the uncertain waters of negotiation, a loud crash echoed behind him. He turned to see a couple of the children from earlier crying, huddled together as they pointed at something tangled in the equipment. Sam, look, one girl cried out. The moment was deflected, a wave of chaos breaking over the hopeful plans laid earlier. Sam took a breath, steeling himself for whatever revelation awaited. What lay hidden beneath the surface might reshape everything he had begun to build, and he wondered if he was ready for yet another challenge. As Sam turned, anxiety clawed at his insides. The sight before him was jarring. A group of children stood clustered, pointing frantically at the ground. A tangle of wires and equipment lay sprawled in an unsettling mess, but that wasn't what made Sam's heart race. It was the little girl, her golden ponytail caught awkwardly between the coils of a thick cable. Help her! One boy yelled, his voice trembling with urgency. Without thinking, Sam dashed over, the crowd parting around him. He could feel their eyes, the mixture of hope and worry hanging thick in the air. When he reached the girl, he dropped to his knees, meeting her terrified gaze. The shock in her wide eyes cut straight through him. She was scared and wanted nothing more than to be free. I've got you, Sam said, forcing a calmness into his voice, his fingers gently working to untangle her hair. Just hold still, okay? She nodded, her tiny frame shaking slightly. He focused on the wires, almost blindly, as his thoughts raced. How had things spiraled so quickly from the hopeful possibilities with the foundation to this? Was this a sign? Was it chaos or change? The crowd closed in, murmurs rippling through them as they watched the scene unfold. Sam's hands trembled, realizing just how much was riding on this moment, not just for the girl, but for everyone present. He needed to show them he was capable of doing something, anything to help. "Don't cut my hair. Please don't," the girl whimpered, clenching her fists. There was a pause, the moment stretching painfully as panic reached across the crowd. It wasn't just about hair anymore. It symbolized so much more: a struggle against losing something vital, a fear of being overlooked. "I promise, I won't cut it," Sam assured her, the resolve hardening in his chest. "We're going to get you out of this mess. Just breathe." He pulled on the wire carefully, feeling her hair slip free, relieved to see her face brighten. Smiling, she broke through her fear. Sam removed the last of the tangled mess from her hair, freeing her completely. Relief washed over him as the little girl lifted her chin, revealing a set of small, proud teeth in a growing smile. He couldn't help but mimic it, feeling the doubt within him fade. The crowd erupted into applause. An unexpected rush of warmth surged through him, as if they had all recognized the shift. They weren't simply witnesses, they had become part of a moment of connection, a reflection of unity in the face of chaos.
"See?"
he called out, looking around at the crowd. "Together we can untangle more than just hair. We can untangle our fears." Some in the group nodded, their distress softening, even just a bit. The Foundation's representative seized this opportunity, her voice breaking through. "This is what we want: real progress. Let us work together to make our community better." Sam felt a surge of hope. He could see people beginning to stir with ideas, their shoulders uncrossed, their expressions open. This was the bridge he'd fought for, one that could lead to meaningful change. The little girl, now free, clung to Sam's leg, her sparkling eyes wide with trust.
"Thank you,"
she whispered, her tiny voice radiating genuine gratitude. But just as he felt the air lighten, a low rumble trembled through the ground beneath them. A menacing shadow loomed over the festival as dark clouds gathered ominously above, blotting out the soft twilight glow. Sam's heart raced again. Was this a harbinger of something terrible? Was the storm brewing overhead a warning about the paths they were about to choose? He glanced toward the faces around him, hoping to find answers in their eyes. What would this storm mean for their fragile unity? And would they be able to weather it together? The wind picked up, swirling around them as ominous clouds darkened the sky. Sam felt the depressing weight settling on his chest. He turned his gaze back to the little girl, still clinging to him, her bright smile fading as she squinted up at the gathering storm. Her innocence resonated within him. Suddenly it felt as if the festival, the joy, everything they had momentarily achieved was being swallowed whole by impending darkness. "Hey," Sam said, kneeling down to her level, "let us find somewhere safe, okay? We can wait it out together." Her eyes, so full of trust moments earlier, now showed a glimmer of fear. She nodded slowly, glancing at the storm looming above them. He reached out, holding her tiny hand in his, and it was a lifeline for him too. The crowd wavered, uncertainty rippling through them. He felt their eyes on him again, anticipation blending with trepidation. "Listen up, everyone," Sam called out, trying to shake off the dread. "We need a safe spot. Let us gather all the kids." His words cut through the murmurs, and the crowd began to shift, guided by a sense of shared responsibility. As they moved toward the nearby picnic area, he caught snippets of conversation, some cracked jokes to ease the tension, while others exchanged worried glances. The dark clouds seemed to mock their vulnerability, a reminder that sometimes hope could quickly give way to fear. Once they reached the shelter of an awning, Sam looked at the girl who had become his anchor. "What's your name?" he asked, giving her a reassuring smile. "Lucy," she whispered, still gripping his hand tightly. "Lucy," he echoed, feeling the warmth of her small fingers grounding him. "You were very brave today. This storm won't take away your bravery, okay?" Her little chin quivered, and he swore he could feel the heartbeat of the crowd synchronize with the thunder rumbling in the distance. He glanced around. Some parents were huddling close to their kids, others were discussing logistics and plans, their voices a harmonious muddle of chaos. As raindrops began to patter against the awning, a sense of urgency surged. Sam could feel the group's energy changing, shifting from strength to vulnerability. How do we stay together through this storm? He thought. The connection he felt moments ago seemed fragile now, each person tightening their grip on their loved ones, the whispers of discomfort growing louder with every clap of thunder.
Sam.
A voice called, pulling him from his contemplative moment. It was the Foundation's representative, her expression filled with determination. What if we start a game to keep everyone occupied? Something to turn this storm into a little adventure? That's a great idea. Sam replied, feeding off her enthusiasm. Lucy, do you want to help me with that? Her eyes brightened again, and with a nod, he encouraged her to gather the other kids. Sam took a deep breath and started brainstorming games that could lift their spirits. As Lucy rounded up kids, he felt something in him shifting. Was this what it meant to lead? Around him, the crowd slowly began to unite, laughter replacing some of the nervous tension as the kids played games. He began to feel that maybe they really could weather this storm together. But just as the laughter echoed and the atmosphere lightened, a sudden crash of lightning lit up the sky, drawing horrified gasps from the crowd. Sam's heart dropped. What were they in for? Would the storm reveal their true strengths, or would it break the fragile bonds they were starting to forge? He turned to Lucy, whose joy shone bright even amid the tempest. Stay close, okay? He said, a wave of protectiveness washing over him. She nodded eagerly. Just as he felt some glimmer of hope, the wind picked up again, sweeping through the shelter, sending a shiver down his spine. What would it take for them to truly come together, and would they be ready for the real storm that was yet to come? The thunder cracked again, louder this time, shaking the very ground beneath them. Sam felt a twinge of fear wrap around him, but he glanced down at Lucy, whose eyes were now wide with sparkling curiosity rather than fear. Let us play a game, he shouted over the rising wind, trying to keep the energy light. How about a scavenger hunt? We'll look for things that remind us of the festival. He winked at Lucy, who giggled, the sound of fleeting light in the thickening shadows. The other kids perked up. They hadn't even been given a challenge like this before. What do we look for? One boy asked, his spirit clearly boosted by the suggestion. Sam tried to think fast. How about finding something colorful? He pointed to a red balloon caught in the lower branches of a tree, just outside the awning's shelter. Each of you can pick a color, and when I say go, we'll see who can bring back the best item. A chorus of yes. And let us do it, rang out, energy churning within the group. As the kids dashed off in different directions, laughter rose in the air despite the looming storm. Sam felt gratitude knit through him. Maybe they would be okay. Before he could dwell on that thought for too long, Lucy grabbed his hand and said, "Can I have pink?" "Absolutely," Sam replied, enjoying her enthusiasm. He didn't want to let go of her tiny hand, the way it connected him to the moment. "Go, Lucy. Find something pink," he encouraged, and with that, she sprinted off toward the playground equipment. The joy of the children was infectious, and he could see the parents around him start to smile, their anxiety easing for the first time in what felt like ages. As he stood back, watching chaos turn to joy, something caught his eye. A figure stood at the edge of the picnic area, a woman, drenched, with worry etched deep in her features. There was something familiar about her, and Sam's heart raced as recognition dawned. It was Sarah, Lucy's mother. "Sarah," he called out, waving her toward him. He felt a mix of relief and apprehension as she approached, battling the storm in her own way, glancing apprehensively at the gathering clouds. "Thank goodness you're here," she exclaimed, breathless with the sight of her daughter amidst the wildness. "I thought I lost her." "Not at all," Sam assured her, a sense of protectiveness swelling within him. "She's been amazing, keeping spirits high." He glanced toward the kids, who were now climbing over the playground, shouts of "I found pink" echoing between peals of thunder. Tears brimmed in Sarah's eyes as she knelt to Lucy's level. "There you are, sweetheart. I was so worried." Lucy rushed into her mother's arms, their embrace tightening under the awning. Sam watched, feeling a strange warmth spread inside him, a sense of belonging to this moment, to this little family. But just as the laughter resumed, the wind shot through the trees, slicing the moment. A fresh wave of rain came pouring down, drumming mercilessly on the awning above. The joy froze for a heartbeat, replaced by the quickly dawning sense of urgency. "Back together, everyone!" Sam shouted again, this time his tone more commanding. He felt the urgency he'd noticed earlier return tenfold. "We need to stay close." The kids returned, some with wild treasures while others looked back nervously, hoping the dark clouds wouldn't take away their FU, and as the storm's fury intensified, Sam scanned the crowd, his heart teetering. Could they still make it through together? Suddenly, the electricity in the air surged, and lightning struck nearby, illuminating the space in a blinding flash. In that moment, he felt every pair of eyes turn to him, hanging on his next words. How much trust do we have in one another? He wondered, wondering if bravery could be enough to hold them together through the storm. The gusts howled around them. With families huddled close, Sam realized the storm wouldn't just test their faith in each other. It would challenge his own heart, redefining what it meant to lead in the face of fear. "Stay strong," he yelled, and as the thunder rolled again, he swung his head around to search for something in the crowd. Would he find the resolve needed to guide them, or was he about to face something deeper than any storm? The storm blustered around them, creating a cacophony of sounds, raindrops pounding, wind whistling, and children's laughter and cries blending into a singular melody of urgency and chaos. Sam's heart raced as he struggled to keep the group close. He glanced back at Sarah, who had Lucy snuggled tightly against her, both women looking for reassurance in his eyes. "Okay, everyone," he began, searching for the right words. "Let us gather and make a big circle." The children hesitated, chasing after leftover excitement, still gleeful despite the storm. Sam noticed the glint of determination in their eyes, but also fear creeping back in. He knelt down to their level, his own voice steady. "Hey, I know the storm is scary, but we need to stick together. We're all one big team. How about we share what we found during our scavenger hunt?" A boy with a bright orange yo-yo stepped forward tentatively. "I found this," he exclaimed, holding it out. "It reminds me of the Sunset Festival last year." The other kids started mumbling, sharing their vibrant finds, and Sam felt the tension lifting slightly as they shared stories. "I found flowers," a girl shouted, her face lighting up as she held out a wilted pink petal. "From the dance party." More voices chimed in, memories flooding back, and laughter soon intertwined with rumbles of thunder. Sam's heart swelled at the sight of their excitement. This was the glimmer of light he needed amidst the storm. "See?" he said, casting his gaze around the circle. "These moments remind us why we celebrate. The storm can't take that away from us." He could see parents smiling, breathing deeper, as the bonds of community began to re-emerge, woven with children's innocence and excitement. But then, a deep rumble echoed above, and a shiver rippled down Sam's spine. The wind howled fiercely, rattling the treetops, as if warning them all to take cover. "Hold tight," he shouted, trying to keep the panic at bay. He felt a rush of responsibility wash over him, his impending decision weighed heavily on his chest. Lucy, sensing the urgency, broke away from her mother's embrace. "But Sam, what if it gets worse? What do we do?" she asked, wide-eyed and innocent, her small voice cutting through the tension like a knife. For a moment, the world slowed down. Sam knelt in front of her, looking into her trusting eyes. How could he reassure her in a moment like this, with fear palpable, penetrating each glance in the crowd? In that moment, he realized it wasn't just about facing the storm. It was about facing fears within. "We will find a safe place," he promised, determination settling into every word. "If we all stick together, nothing can break our spirit." With renewed purpose, he began leading the families toward the building nearby, where they'd be sheltered from the storm. The kids began to follow suit, teachers and parents joining the line. Sam noticed Sarah's grateful smile as she grasped Lucy's hand firmly, keeping her close. They got closer to the structure, and just as they reached the door, Another flash of lightning streaked across the sky, followed by a deafening clap of thunder that rumbled the ground beneath their feet. Sam felt something shift within him, a mixture of courage and trepidation. Then it happened. Lucy suddenly stopped, her eyes wide with fear. "I don't want to go inside. What if we're trapped?" Her voice quivered, and her tiny frame trembled. Sam knelt beside her, feeling her panic.
"Lucy, it's okay.
"We're not trapped. We'll be safe, and we'll have more fun inside, I promise." But in that moment, surrounded by the tumult of nature and the weight of her fear, he wondered if he could truly keep that promise. With the storm escalating and Lucy's anxiety threatening to unravel everything, he realized they might need more than just protection from the rain. Could he find a way to turn fear into comfort? As the sky darkened, an unlikely idea sparked in Sam's mind. Would sharing stories from the festival inside be enough to lift their spirits, and would that be the key to keeping Lucy calm? Sam felt the weight of Lucy's fear pressing down like the rain drenching his shoulders. He could read the worry in her eyes, and it took all the courage he had to stay calm. "Lucy, I understand," he said softly, kneeling down to her level. "But look around you. We're all together. That's what makes us strong." He pointed to the group, a sea of anxious yet determined faces, all connected by a shared experience. "We'll make the inside fun. I bet we can create our very own celebration right there," he encouraged, hoping the thought would spark a flicker of excitement in her. "Really? Like a party?" she asked, her fear still etched on her tiny features, though there was a hint of curiosity in her voice now. "Absolutely. A storm party," Sam replied, determination surfing through his veins. "We can share our stories, play games, and maybe even make some new memories. Just think about it, no storm can take that away from us." The wind whipped even harder, and the rain lashed against them like nature's fury at the door. But at that moment, Sam saw something shift. The nearby parents took a collective breath, exchanging glances that whispered support. Okay, I'll try." Lucy finally conceded, her small hand tightening around Sarah's. Sam felt a surge of relief wash over him.
"Great,"
he said, leading them towards the building once more, his own heart racing with a mix of anxiety and purpose. Once inside, the atmosphere immediately changed. The walls felt protective, and the distant thunder transformed from a fearsome roar to an old friend-esque grumble. The cozy interior sparkled with memories, a haven from the chaos battling outside. "Let us gather under that big window," Sam suggested, motioning toward a cozy spot. The kids shuffled to his command, curiosity taking charge as they settled in. "Who wants to start?" he asked, glancing around the group. A few children exchanged nervous smiles, and before long, a girl with pigtails raised her hand.
"I'll go,"
she announced, her voice fierce despite the trembling in the air. "Awesome. What's your story?" Sam leaned in, feeling his chest lighten as the room slowly filled with laughter and chatter. The girl began recounting her favorite moment from last year's festival, earning smiles and giggles from her friends. As stories flew around the room, like the raindrops outside rolling down the window. Sam was surprised to see Lucy's fear melting away. Each tale acted like a balm on her worried heart, calming the storm brewing inside her. The laughter grew louder, blending magically with the rhythmic patter of rain. Sam realized how easily fear could be transformed not just by seeking safety, but by embracing togetherness. This was more than shelter. This was community, warmth, hope. Yet, as he enjoyed the beautiful sight before him, the joy radiating from their circle, Sam felt another sense creeping in. A flicker of doubt, like the shadows that flickered in the edges of the room. What if the storm outside grew more vicious? What if the bonds they were building inside were not enough? Just then, lightning cut through the window's glass again, illuminating Lucy's face. For a brief moment, it felt as if time paused, and in that electric silence, Sam could almost hear her own heart beat much like his. They were all terrified in their own way, but they were together, heart racing. He remembered what it meant to celebrate the small things, leaning into their shared stories, creating a safe space for everyone's fears. As the laughter continued, a quiet thought nagged in the back of his mind: would this newfound connection hold when the storm finally relented? Just as Sam's resolve began to solidify, another boom of thunder echoed dangerously close, causing everyone to jump. What if it gets worse? Lucy asked, the uncertainty creeping back into her tone, reminding him that even within joy, fear still lurked. Let us find out together, he replied, gripping Lucy's hand tightly, suddenly aware that the battle was only beginning. Would their hearts truly withstand the tempest raging just beyond the walls? The storm raged on outside, the fury of nature crashing against the tiny building that now served as their sanctuary. But within those four walls, something magical began to happen. Sam watched as the children's giggles drowned out the thunder, their stories weaving a tapestry of warmth, resilience, and hope. Lucy was at the heart of it all, her laughter ringing like a bell, lifting spirits high above the tempest. Each tale shared, every giggle exchanged, curled around their hearts like a protective shroud. Sam joined in, creating impromptu games and encouraging each child to share their favorite festival memories. Let us make a big memory wall, he suggested, gathering paper and markers. We can share our hopes and dreams for what we want next year's festival to look like. Joy erupted as the kids buzzed with excitement, drawing and writing, their imaginations dancing on paper. The atmosphere shifted, the storm outside fading into a distant echo. Sam felt the remnants of fear dissolve. This was more than a moment of bravery. It was a testament to their collective spirit. But just as he felt the swell of hope, a loud crack of thunder crashed against the roof, sending ripples of anxiety through the group. Sam turned to Lucy, who looked at him with wide eyes, fear creeping back into her heart. Sam, what if the storm never ends? In that frozen moment, Sam understood the weight of her question. Lucy, he knelt down beside her, determination gleaming in his eyes. Remember, storms are meant to pass. And when they do, we'll be here together, stronger than before. He smiled and cheerfully motioned to the others. How about we call out what we've learned today? What keeps us strong? Encouraged by his words, kids began sharing, voices rising like a choir. Sharing stories, helping each other, being brave. With every proclamation, Sam felt the bond among them grow, a radiant light breaking through the chilling grip of the storm clouds outside. The laughter and resilience of children spoke volumes. Fear could only thrive in isolation, but together, they were invincible. As the day wore on, the rain began to lighten, the thunder drifted into more distant rumbles. Sam peered through the window, watching the sunbreak pierce the angry clouds, showering them with a renewed glow. The storm was weakening, but the connection forged between the people gathered inside was stronger than he had ever imagined. Hey, everyone, he called out. When we step outside, how about we create our own mini-festival right here? Excitement flooded the room again, children eagerly waving their arms, shouting their ideas. Sam let the enthusiasm wash over him, the dread lifting from his chest. Let us make a parade, Lucy suggested, and that sent another wave of inspiration. They could walk together, hand in hand, a vibrant alliance formed from a shared experience. In that moment, Sam understood they wouldn't hide from the storm. They would embrace it, emerging together into the sunlight beyond. As they gathered their new creations and formed a line, he felt the weight of responsibility meld into hope. It was no longer just about him helping Lily or playing the role of a savior. This was about uniting a community, standing shoulder to shoulder, and fighting through fears together. Taking a deep breath, he emerged into the fresh air after the rain. The celebration of connection felt palpable. The streets of Maplewood welcomed them, the air crackling with excitement as families joined in, their laughter melding with the fading echoes of thunder. Together, he yelled, and the crowd roared back, together. And as they paraded through their town, hands raised high, their hearts beat in unison. The storm had tested them, but it had also exposed a flurry of strength beneath. Each shared story added another layer of resilience. Sam felt a warmth envelop him as he caught Lucy's eye, her beaming smile shining as bright as the sun breaking through the clouds, a reminder that they had all weathered the storm together. As they reached the center of town, he glanced across the sea of faces, filled with joy, and he knew now that this was home. A community built not on wealth or social status, but on shared experiences, understanding, and hope. Sam Montgomery, the millionaire once lost in his own privilege, had transformed not merely by giving but by opening himself to the need for real connections. Now, surrounded by the warmth of Maplewood and the laughter of its children, he truly felt part of something greater. And in that moment, he whispered a silent vow to keep nurturing the bonds formed that day. Sam stepped forward, a heart full of resolve, excitement roaring within him. Tomorrow would come with new challenges, but if they faced them together, there was no storm they couldn't outrun. The laughter of children echoed around him, and with it, a profound joy filled Sam's heart. This was just the beginning. Now it's your turn to join this journey. You need to subscribe now to our channel. Don't miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment below your reactions and feelings about this transformative ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this story. Real fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions. Let's keep building this community together.